a space dedicated to this. Okay. Welcome to today's guided practice session. I'm so excited because today we're talking about something that I practice on the regular. Like, there's not many days that go by that I don't work on the specific thing because I'm so influenced by players like McCoy Tyner and Herbie Hancock and Chick Corea, amongst many others, Kenny Kirkland, Brad Meldow. And one thing that is in common with all of these great players is that they really have a nice handle on how to use the pentatonic scale and that that amazing timeless shape of the pentatonic scale in a way that just works so effortlessly in any context. And so I wanted to work on it in a way today that we haven't worked on it here on YouTube on the guided practice sessions. We're going to do a bit of a pentatonic workout. That's some dramatic typeface that I have there for you because this is going to be a dramatic day. We're doing a pentatonic workout. There is a PDF if you want to follow along. That's yours to download. And hey, by the way, until midnight tonight, we are doing 50% off my course, Pentatonics and Playing Out, where we go on a deep dive on all kinds of pentatonic structures and ways to practice them. And I practice with you on my course, Pentatonics and Playing Out. You can save 50% by clicking on the link below, but that ends today at midnight, tonight at midnight, I should say. So take advantage of that. If you've never bought an Open Studio course, now's your chance to get in on that. Okay, so today I want to talk about a specific way to deal with pentatonics. You know, we talk about scales and chords and what works and what doesn't and what works over certain chords. What scale can I play in this situation? I want to deal with one chord today, and that's C minor 7. But I want to deal with it in 3 different ways. We could actually use one of 3 different pentatonic scales over our C minor. Actually, there's plenty more. It's almost infinite what you could do over a C minor, right? There's no wrong notes over a C minor 7. But I'm talking about if we're doing something where we have a modal tune that has one chord, maybe it's C minor 7, or maybe it's D minor 7, but you have that one, right? That one tonality that you have to work around. Well, you're not going to use just one blanket pentatonic scale over the whole thing. There's a lot of options. So let's talk about what our options are. First of all, what is the pentatonic scale? Here in E flat, right? We have our E flat pentatonic scale. We have E flat, F, G, B flat, and C. So if we're talking about, I like to think about pentatonic scales as like the major pentatonic. So in E flat, that's the root, the second, the third, the 5, and the 6, right? We all know that. That's kind of just the basic shape. So over C minor 7, we can use 3 different pentatonic scales, and we can mix and match them. We can either just say, I'm just going to use the E flat, or I'm just going to use the B flat, I'm just going to use the F, or we can combine them. We're going to work on that a little bit today. So those are our options, our 3 options. First is the E flat pentatonic scale. These would all be over a C minor 7. So all choices, right? All options over C minor 7. So that's the E flat major. You might think of this as C minor. I know Peter Martin thinks about these as minor pentatonics. So you might think of that as C minor starting on C. But this is kind of like the level 1, the first way that we would ever like approach a pentatonic sound over like a C minor 7 sound. You would pick that E flat major or C minor pentatonic. You know what I'm saying? Now, the second way that I like to think about it, it gets a little bit more airy is the nice adjective for this sound. The B flat pentatonic scale, or you might think about this as G minor, right? B flat, C, D, F, and G. This is as a shape, right? As a tonal palette. That's what we want to think about these as. Like if we have our Bob Ross easel and our we're painting our mountain and we have our palette here of colors. These are 3 different colors that we can use to shade. I'm going to lose the Bob Ross analogy here, but to shade in the happy little tree, right? We have these 3 different colors. So B flat major or B flat major pentatonic scale has some great options. It starts, it's got the 7th, of course, it's got the root, but it also has the 9, which that E flat doesn't. So like I said, there's some more air somehow into this. It's just a hair darker somehow. It's not as crisp. It's a little sadder on this C minor. beautiful, just beautiful. Now, even lighter and airier than that, with even more space and a little bit less grounding to it, is the F major pentatonic. F, G, A, C, and D. Because we have this 13 in it, right? This A natural. Definitely now we're in a Dorian sound on the C. Now this on its own, like for me, I wouldn't lean on this throughout a solo on. I mean, you totally could actually. As I'm doing that, I'm saying I wouldn't do it, but I probably would actually. So yeah, everything I'm playing there, that's all just the F major pentatonic. So just again, to get them in your ears, here's the E flat major. Here's the B flat major. Here's the F. Isn't that nice? It's so much fun too. There's so much fun. So how do we get that sound though? Like how do we go from just this like how do we get beyond just running a scale up and down? That's not what music is about, right? That's not how we actually want to think about it. One way that especially as pianists we can do, but this really works for all instruments, is to start breaking them up into 4-note groups. So the best way to do that is, even if you don't play piano right now, if you have a keyboard instrument, which you really should, if you're a musician at all, you should have some kind of keyboard instrument at your disposal, just because they're so useful. You know what I mean? So if you do, I encourage you to go over to it and check out this first way that we can break up the shapes. So if we just look at E flat pentatonic, we're going to do each one individually, right? So if we just look at E flat pentatonic, we're going to start there with the C, right? We're not even going to start with the E flat on the bottom, but we'll start with the C on the bottom because we are on a C minor. We still want to think C minor 7 as we're working these, right? So we can just group them into groups of 4 and play them all at the same time. And then move those up the pentatonic scale. These are the core groups that we can use. But it helps to play them at the same time. Let's do this. So let's just play this as 4 beats each. 4 beats each, up and down. Play with me. 2, 3, 4. Play with me now. Just getting the shapes. Understanding that these shapes are super important, right? And we can group these in these 4-note groups like this in our improvisation. And when we start breaking them up, there's several ways we can do it. Isn't that awesome? Like it's a pentatonic scale, but in groups of 4. Let's double time this. 2 beats each. Switch. 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 You got it. Let's do this again. Again, these are all just shapes from the E flat major pentatonic scale, right? That we can use over a C minor 7. Let's double time this, quarter notes. Just getting these in our hands. Notice my thumb is on the bottom note of each of these shapes. Doesn't have to be, but it's a good way to kind of realize that you're switching regions. Now I'm in the region that's grounded by B flat, G, grounded by F, grounded by E flat. By grounded by, I mean that C is on the bottom, E flat's on the bottom, F's on the bottom, G's on the bottom. And these are all just the E flat major pentatonic scale, but just with C on the bottom, E flat on the bottom, F on the bottom, G on the bottom, B flat on the bottom. Does it make sense? So that's a great way to just look at them in a basic structured way. But how can we actually get these shapes in a usable way in our melodic development, right? With our soloing. So we can take these shapes and we can do about 1 million different things with them rhythmically, structurally, melodically. We can skip around, we can go up, we can go down, we can skip in the middle. We can do whatever we want. So I have a little etude, and we're going to do this same etude for each one of our pentatonics. Because remember, over C minor, we're thinking today we can either use E flat major, B flat major, or F major. So we're going to do the same etude in each of these different pentatonics. Now they're all over C minor, right? That's our C minor option: E flat major, B flat major, and F major. So if we start here with our etude here, and our first pentatonic scale, our E flat major pentatonic over C minor, sounds something like this. And I'm going to do it. This is the quarter note. We're probably going to double time this eventually, but just to start basic here, play with me. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so these voicings for my pianist here, these are just suggested voicings. You don't have to play this rhythm. You don't have to play those voicings. They're just some chordal voicings, right? Some voicings built in fourths. Again, just over like a C Dorian scale, right? So just all the notes from a C Dorian scale built in fourths, and you can just move that around diatonically. No big deal. But check it out. Check out the shapes here. I put some suggested fingerings there for pianists as well, because I know you guys love that. But check it out here. So our very first, right? That's that first shape that we just worked on. What about this? Again, if we played all these 4 notes together, that's the second shape. I'm just moving it up in the shapes. Now this, right? That's the next shape, and then I go straight into the next one. And I'm going to do a little skipping thing. Right? So this is this shape to this shape, and bar 2 there, right? This shape to this shape. Honestly, I'm only thinking this. I'm thinking of going to this. Those shapes. Isn't that crazy? Like, you do not have to think about every little thing. You can start turning them and twisting them once you understand the different ways to do that. Up, skipping, down, right? And then even here, like, this is this shape. Like, I just start in the middle of the shape. And then on the way down, right? We're back in the octave, right? With the C grounding it. Right, next down. Then I do a little skipping thing. Right, that whole second bar is just this shape, that E flat major pentatonic. So it's the same, I'm doing the same exercise, I'm just breaking it up. So like, again, thinking about it, grounded in C, grounded in E flat, grounded in F, grounded in G. By grounded meaning the lower note of the shape is G. The lowest note of the shape is B flat. You can do all kinds of things that just feel so easy and effortless, especially for pianists. These kind of 4-note shapes, they just lay really well in our hand. Let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, and. One more time, really slow. So now we've gotten out of, we're not running it down, right? We're slowly moving it. We're adding all this really cool rhythm. I love this one, the second to last bar. Again, that's just the shape grounded in F. Starting on the 3rd note up, skipping around. Isn't that cool? Okay, let's double time this. I'm going to play a bass line. And here's what I want you to do. I'm going to play the bass line. If you play piano, you can add some of these left-hand voicings with you. I want you to start with the etude as written. So just start as this as sort of your jumping off point, your home base. See if you can feel it. Double time is going to be a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, and right? So it might take you a couple times through to get it. That's totally cool. We're just learning this, right? But after a few times of playing it as written, what I'd like you to do then is to start just experimenting with the E flat major pentatonic scale over this C minor. See if you can move these shapes around, right? In various ways. Up, down, skipping around. That kind of stuff. See what you can do with it. Really just explore it and have fun. Shall we try it? As written for the first 2 or 3 times, maybe, till you're comfortable, and then start messing with it as we jazz pianists love to do. Let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. Start messing with these shapes all over the E flat major pentatonic scale. Stay disciplined with this. Don't do too much. Just try to explore. Really move those shapes around with each one grounded in that E flat pentatonic scale. Stop. Shake it out. Take a big deep breath. Do a little bit of a posture check right now. As we're playing, we're learning new stuff. We want to be comfortable. We don't want to try. That sounds weird. You don't want to try with your face, your neck, your shoulders, or anything like that. Really relax. Your body language and your body posture is like 80% of this. I know that seems like an exaggeration, but it's not. It really is. So much of it is just realizing where you are and not getting too tense with it. Okay, so that's just one of our pentatonic scales. Let's see what's on deck next. Let's try the B flat major pentatonic scale. Again, let's do 2 beats each. We kind of know what this is. So C minor, we're still on C minor and we're still thinking C minor here, right? So we have this B flat major pentatonic scale, but I'm gonna even think about it as maybe G minor, right? Which is its relative minor. G, B flat, C, D, moving these shapes up together. Let's do 2 beats each with this. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, and. And I'm just putting a little C minor 7 voicing in my left hand so you can hear how this sounds. It's kind of easy to hear how that E flat major pentatonic sounds as C minor. But this B flat major, it takes a little more imagination because there's not like an E flat in the shape. But when you hear it with just this little C minor 7 voicing here, you get what I'm saying. Isn't that great? Let's do quarter notes here. Let's do quarter notes. Just getting these shapes here in our hands. You might notice that these are the exact same shapes as our E flat major pentatonic, just transposed to B flat. So cool, right? It's a great sound over C minor. Like, it's a great sound. Really dark. Again, I think of McCoy. Isn't that cool? Super cool. Okay. Next up is that exact same etude that we just did, but now using the B flat pentatonic sound. So it's the same thing. Let's try it very slowly, but I think you're really going to like this. I have the exact same voicings for my pianist there, just some fourth voicings in the left hand. Let's play it here with this as the quarter note. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... Like, it's different, right? But you don't have to think about... Isn't that awesome? Let's try it again. And you can see the same thing here. Before we do it again, you could see the same thing right here from the first bar. It's just the same shapes that we were just playing as we were playing them, that B flat major pentatonic scale in 4-note groups. It's the same shapes, right? Just as we work it up. Isn't that great? Oh, it's so much fun. Let's try it. One more time slow, and then we'll do a play along fast. 2, 3, and... Again, thinking C minor here. All right, let's do it now, double time. And again, just like last time, just have fun here with this B flat major pentatonic scale over the C minor 7 chord. Start as is. It'll be twice as fast as we just did it, which is not that fast. 2, 3, and 1, 2. Get in the tempo. Yeah, not that fast at all. You got it. And after 2 or 3 times, after you get it, which should be easier because we've already done it with E flat, then start experimenting with just the B flat major pentatonic scale, not the E flat. Just stick with this one set of 5 notes and see what you can do in these 4-note groupings, right? Let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and... Now start playing around with it. Start messing around, start improvising. But still keeping with those 4-note groups. Slop. More slop. Again, just have fun here. B flat major pentatonic scale. Stop. Shake it out. Take a big deep breath. Relax your shoulders, relax your face, relax your neck. Just be here right now with what you got. We have one more scale to hit you up with, and of course, that is F major. Again, we're doing the E flat major, the B flat major, and the F major pentatonic scale all over C minor. These are three options that we can mix and match. So far, we're just handcuffing ourselves to one each, but let's see what happens eventually when we take them down. All right, here we go. C minor 7, F pentatonic. Let's do it. Right here, 2 beats each, 2 beats each. 2, 3, and I'll play a little C minor sound. It's way different. It's way brighter than either one from before. You know what I mean? And this one I'm starting right on F, not even on D minor. Doesn't matter where you start these. Doesn't matter at all. You're naturally going to gravitate around that note of C on a modal tune like this. You know what I mean? And I'm just laying down some C minor-ish stuff in my left hand. Some tenths. Let's do quarter notes. You got it. Again, exact same shapes, a little bit different order, but same shapes as all the others. We think about this as F major. You can think about this as D minor as well. Just all that 5 notes of the pentatonic scale. Works really well over C minor. Last time. All right, let's do our etude. Hey, if before we do that, if this is the kind of stuff you like to see, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know if you haven't already. I assume you have already, but if you haven't hit the like button already, let me know that this pentatonic work is what you like to see. All right, this is our last etude. It's just the same as all of the others, right? It's the same structure as all of the etudes, but now we're doing F pentatonic, so this is really hip, actually. So let's do it slowly, just one time through slowly. 2, 3, and 4, and... How great is that? Isn't that awesome? It's so hip. Okay, let's immediately do our double time play along. Which would be like right here. Right there. All right, let's do it as written for at least 2 times through until you have it. This is our third key that we've done this in, so you should have it. Again, we're still thinking C minor. This is still C minor 7. This is just our third pentatonic scale. And then after this, after you've done it 2 or 3 times, then start to experiment with these 4-note shapes, right? You can even think about them in those 4-note blocks that we played all together. Just getting those shapes in our hands. Let's try it. 1, 2, you got it. 1, 2, 3, and... Now start to experiment with your own thing here. Have fun with this F major pentatonic scale. Explore those 4-note groups. Thank you, Ron Carter. Stop. Shake it out. Take a big deep breath. You're doing great. It's so much fun, isn't it? It's like once you kind of break it down to the building blocks and then you rebuild it in a way that makes sense to our tiny little lizard brains, it's so much more fun. So much more fun. Okay, so now that we have that, we've done all three. Yeah. What if we just do one more play along, C minor 7, and you start to mix and match. You've probably already cheated ahead a little bit and done this as we've been doing our open, but see if you can cheat ahead a little. See if you can mix and match these 3 pentatonic scales: E flat, B flat, and F. Remember, they're 3 distinct tonal palettes, right? One is very grounded. One is a little darker, maybe a little bit more air under it. And one is super bright and super airy. So you try to, again, thinking about them in these 4-note groups, different shapes, up, down, skipping around, and then we have our 3 different pentatonic scales to mix and match. Most importantly, have fun, maybe smile a little bit. I don't know. Life is short. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and... Use some of those chordal voicings. If you're on piano. And really just mix and match these 3 great pentatonic scales. That's it, everybody. Again, like and subscribe. And don't forget, till midnight tonight only, you can save 50% off of my course, Pentatonics and Playing Out, which deals with all of this in great depth. Thank you so much. I haven't been live in so long. This is so much fun. I'm going to try to be live here every Tuesday going forward. So thank you so much for being here. I will be back on Friday. Until then, happy practicing. Good to see y'all. Thanks, folks. Cheers.